There are several kinds of tie downs. I prefer regular old ratchet straps. The cam buckle kind, like this, they tend to work themselves loose, especially under the spring load of a motorcycle. I mean, if you get a really good set, they're fine, but just the cheap ones from your local farm supply store are not going to work, so I use these. Now, on my dirt bike, I've got custom hooks to use to tie the bike down with. If you don't have that, and I'm going to show you on a couple different bikes, the best way is usually to go through the through here, to go around the fork above the lower fork brace. That's a really good thing to do. It's usually the most stable and the strongest. What most people do, and it's not really right or wrong, it's just not preferred, they will go right around the handlebars, just in a place like this. On this bike, my handlebars are far too cluttered for that, but even then, handlebars are easy to bend. They are very easy to bend, especially if you've got a cruiser with ape-hangers, something with a high rise, or even just regular bars without a crossbar in them. They're incredibly easy to bend. So I would suggest against that. Again, the best way is right around the fork above the lower fork brace. Some bikes will have loops on the frame, and that's okay. It varies so much bike to bike, it's really hard to say this is the best way. The best way for my dirt bike is these little eyelets that I had built for it. On my Yamaha Seika, again, not much room on the handlebars, and I could get it around here or here, but it's up against either control housings, brake reservoir, or windshield brackets. I don't want to do that. On my Seika, the best way is above the lower fork clamp, around the fork. The concourse, I honestly don't know how I would transport it. I don't like transporting my bikes. I don't like playing pretend biker and trailering everywhere. So I don't know how to transport this bike. The fork brace is way up underneath, plastic's in the way. Honestly, if it was on a trailer, I would probably try and tie around my crash cages, but I honestly don't know. I've got risers on the bars. You can't get on the bars anywhere, and there are products that go over the end of your bars and then side to side, and then you can go down off of that. It's really hard on handlebars, especially stuff that's made out of like aluminum, these sculpted aluminum ones. You really don't want to put a lot of pressure on those, so I don't know how I would transport my concourse. I'll be completely honest, but we'll go ahead and go tie down the dirt bike because it's an easy way to show you how to do it. It's a good example. Okay, I know a lot of people are going to notice I've got this twisted. And the reason for that is it reduces wind noise. If you just have it straight, it vibrates like a musical instrument string and makes all kinds of noise. I've always twisted it on anything under 500 pounds. I've never had any issues. I've transported my dirt bike, my Seika, Kawasaki Versys, old Honda CBs. I've never had a bike fall down, ever. I've never had any issues with twisting it like this. Another thing you're going to want to do is put your kickstand up. You do not transport a bike on the kickstand. Now I have it in first gear, and I'm just going to hit the clutch and make sure it's up against the truck. Now what I did was I put this thing straight up and down, and I just put a little bit of tension on it so it stands up by itself. No kickstand. It's basically straight up and down. And now what I need to do, since this is a dirt bike, I need to put a piece of wood or something between the front tire and the lower fork brace, because it's generally not a good thing to really compress motorcycle suspension, especially long travel suspension like a dirt bike. But when you tighten these down, you want to tighten them down evenly to keep the bike straight up and down. And then you want to leave a little bit of suspension travel left. You don't want to bring this thing down and bottom out the suspension. It needs to bounce and move on its own. So I'll go ahead and grab my piece of wood and throw that in there. Alright, there's the front end snug down. Now I know it's kind of contradictory. I said leave some suspension travel, and then I put a block of wood in there. Most bikes, you want them to be able to absorb a little bit of shock. Also, taking a spring and smashing it all the way down is not good for it. So again, the twist in here is to eliminate wind noise due to a vibrating strap. And now I'm going to take the strap off the ramp and use that to tie the back end down. And now you don't really want to tie the back end down. You just want to keep the rear tire from moving side to side. In my experience, that's been the best way to go. Some people really push that you actually strap the rear end down to keep the weight from bouncing around. I've never had any issues, and I've gone down gravel roads and hit big bumps and hit speed bumps and railroad tracks. Again, I've never had a bike fall over in a vehicle unless I was being stupid and it fell on me, like trying to drive up a ramp while sitting on the bike. But again, we just need to stabilize that rear tire from going side to side, and I'll show you how to do that right now. Alright, the first step is to just go from one side of your truck or your trailer around your tire and pull it through. Now, it's important to try and line it up as best you can so that you go between some spokes, or depending on what kind of tire you have, between you know, the little arms of your rim or whatever. So that is about right. I'm going through the spokes. You don't want to pull on a spoke because you could bend it. So then once you're through like that, just bring it back over the top. Because what you're going to do is wrap it. Now, I also suggest putting a small twist in your strap back here. So I usually just do one revolution and then hook that up. And then that will keep the wind noise down. Because it does, it vibrates and it's really loud and really annoying. So come to the other side. You then just you just get it hand tight on the other side and then ratchet strap it so that there's tension on it over here. Now you don't have to really bear down on it. If you're squeezing your tire down, it's probably too tight. All this does, whoops, trip over that. All this does is keep the rear end from sliding side to side. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll do a little shake test. All right, there it is. And now I'm gonna try and shake the shit out of this bike just to show you how strong this is. Okay, the noise you're gonna hear is just my carrier in the back banging around. One more quick note. Your loose end on your ratchet strap you're going to want to tie down. The easiest way I've found to do that is so you twist it a little bit like you did when you tighten the bike down. Then put it back through the eyelet on the hook. And twist it again and again. That's just to keep the wind noise down. And I put it around the handle or something, or through the other eyelet again even. And I just tie a knot, simple overhand knot, and push up on it, tighten it. That's not going anywhere. Now I'll show you what a loose tie-down strap will do to paint. That scuff and that one. And then if we look down the side, truck's a little bit dirty. There we are. That, and then it goes down onto here. So that rash is about from here up. That was just from a loose ratchet strap. It'll eat paint and finish right off, so make sure you secure the loose end. Also, if it's whipping around out like this, oh look, you just ran over it, ripped your tie down off, and dropped your bike right out. So tie that down. Another thing you can do, if you've got a bed mat, is just tuck it under there. That's usually good enough, but I prefer actually tying them down. Now I don't want to point fingers and call people idiots, but I'm going to. Well, I do want to actually. I really want to, because you're idiots. You people that go out and buy new bikes and put it on your new trailer you don't know how to tie them down, they're on the side stand, the straps aren't even tight, it's bouncing all over, it's a miracle you even get that thing home. Now, you need to quit being stupid and learn how to do this, and you could possibly lose your bike, lose your trailer, lose your life, or take someone else's. If you don't strap a bike down right and that thing goes bouncing down the highway, that's a 300 to 800 pound hunk of steel that's going to end someone's life. Now, I kind of threw a little bit of humor into this video, but this is dead fucking serious. You need to know what you are doing before you get a bike, before you ride it, before you transport it. I'm sick of seeing people with bikes flopping around in trucks and on trailers. You need to secure these, and you need to know what the hell you are doing. So, scolding over. I swear I'll be a nice guy in the next video, but that is how you put a bike in a truck or on a trailer and tie it down securely. One last thing, I usually leave enough room on one side to put the ramp flat. That way I don't have to lean it up and try and string all the tie downs through it. So just offset the bike to one side.